What's up, my friend? You have tuned in to yet another episode of Real English Radio. I'm your host, Tony Kaizen. And we are back with yet another episode in this, what would I call it, 6-episode series that I'm doing on bad words, curse words, filthy words, whatever you want to call it. The first episode, we talked about shit and how to use that just like an American. Today, we're talking about the word ass. ASS. Your rear end, your booty, your buttocks. We'll get into all that. I'm going to give you a bunch of different words that you can use in place of the word ass. But I'm sure you've heard this word before, especially if you listen to this podcast or you're at an intermediate level and you've been learning American English for a while now. Now, as I said in the last episode, we are talking about quote unquote bad words here. So remember that it's wise to think twice before using these kinds of words in professional settings or with people that you don't know very well. But we're going to get right into it, my friends. You know I'm not one to waste your time. So let's do this. We're going to start by talking about the literal meaning of the word ass. Now, technically, this word refers to an animal that we call donkey. 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 Historically, the word ass referred to a donkey. But these days, I should say, we just call it a donkey. We don't call that animal an ass, unless maybe you're trying to be funny or something like that. These days, the word ass, again, ASS, this word refers to a person's buttocks, which I guess is the anatomical term, the scientific term, buttocks, buttocks. But we often don't use this word. I mean, you will hear people say butt, butt, your butt, your backside, your rear end, your fanny, your behind, your hindquarters, your hind parts. What else do we say? Your booty. I mean, all these are different ways to refer to your buttocks, your backside, your butt, right? But many people will use the word ass. And again, it's not, to me, it's not a very strong word, but it is considered a curse word. Like if you're talking to children or you're at work or talking to your grandparents or something, you most likely are not going to use that word. Most likely. Again, it depends on the person, but it's still considered something like a bad word. And again, it just means butt, butt, not but. Those are two different words. So I could say he fell on his ass, meaning that he fell on his butt, his hind parts. Or I could say she has a nice ass. She's got a nice butt. You see what I'm saying? Or I could say my ass is sore from that 10-hour flight. Sitting in that airplane seat for 10 hours left my ass feeling sore. My ass is sore. You see? We're just talking about your butt. So that's the literal meaning. But let's talk quickly about a couple of verbs that we often use in relation to the verb Jesus Christ. Get it together, Tone. Let's talk about some common verbs we use in relation to the noun ass. Number one, shake. S-H-A-K-E, shake. Now, in this context, to shake your ass means to move or sway your butt in a rhythmic manner, often to some kind of music. You will often hear the word twerk in place of the word shake. They're very similar. It's hard for me to differentiate these two words. But if you've ever seen a girl, like when certain kinds of music comes on, some African style music, some hip hop or something like that, maybe some reggaeton or something like that, the way a girl will rhythmically move her backside, her ass, her butt, we call that shaking one's ass or twerking. Same thing. To shake your ass or to twerk basically means the same thing. I guess if I had some images or videos to show you, I could probably distinguish those two. But in general terms, it's the same thing. If you're shaking your ass to some music, you're essentially twerking. This is going to get confusing, man, because they're not the same thing, but they're close. But you'll hear both. What you can imagine is somebody moving their hips or their ass rhythmically to some music. You're shaking your ass, you're twerking. They're similar, but not the same. So let's move on before this shit falls off the fucking rails. Number 2, grab. 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 Now, to grab someone's ass is similar to grabbing any other object. I might grab a water bottle. I might grab a cup of coffee with my hand. I'm taking my hand, putting it on this person's ass and squeezing as if I'm trying to grab it and bring it into my possession. You know? Fellas, if you got a girlfriend, she got a nice ass, you might grab it from time to time. Just give it a nice little squeeze, right? If you don't know the person and you grab their ass, you're probably going to have a problem on your hands. You don't just go around grabbing anybody's ass. You know what I'm saying? But that's another verb that we often use in relation to ass. Number 3, slap. S-L-A-P, slap. This just means to hit someone's ass with an open hand, the same way you would slap someone in the face, like that. You can slap somebody's ass. So grab is basically to touch and squeeze, but slap is just open your hand and pow, one time, slap the ass. So he slapped her on the ass, or he slapped her ass. You can say either one. And number 4 is spank. S-P-A-N-K, spank. And this is very similar to slap. The difference is that slap is done once. Bam, I slap you one time. To spank someone's ass is typically slapping the ass multiple times in a forceful manner as a form of punishment. Like, I don't know if your parents did this. I don't know any parents that actually did it this way. Well, you know what? I guess when a baby is very, very small, a parent might take the baby and bend that baby over their knee. So the baby's laying on its stomach, on its parent's knee, and the baby's butt is exposed. And to punish that baby, the parent might bam, 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 spank the child's ass or the child's butt. You see what I'm saying? So bam, bam. That's what it means to spank someone's ass. Or maybe, you know, during your romantic playtime, for lack of a better term, with your partner, you might, bam, be spanking your partner's ass. You know, I'm just trying to give you a clear image of what it means to spank someone's ass. It's not always a form of punishment. Sometimes it's in a playful manner. Sometimes it's in a sexual manner, depending on the context. But again, it's repeatedly slapping someone's ass in a forceful manner. That's what it means to spank someone's ass. You'll also hear to give someone a spanking. Same exact thing. Spank someone's ass or give them a spanking. 2 different ways of saying the same thing. So those are common verbs that we use in relation to the word ass or butt. But again, this episode is about the ass. So moving on to the next thing I'd like to teach you today, my friend, the word asshole. If you've heard the word ass, you've almost certainly heard the word asshole. Now, when you call someone an ass, I guess I should have said that differently. You can call someone an ass, or you can call them an asshole. 2 different things. So, well, they're similar, but slightly... Can't fucking talk today. What the fuck is going on? They're similar, but not the same. Okay, so when you call someone an ass in English, it typically means that you're referring to them or you're calling them foolish or rude or just annoying. So it's a way of insulting somebody. If somebody's just being really annoying or rude or obnoxious, you say, this guy's an ass. Stop being an ass. You know what I mean? He's being an ass right now. He's being unreasonably difficult. He's being inconsiderate of the people around him. He's being rude or annoying to people around him. You say, that guy's an ass. And it's not the most common thing to say, but it makes perfect sense and it sounds natural. Just a really annoying, rude individual. He's an ass. Now the term asshole, A-S-S-H-O-L-E, asshole, one word. This, to me, sounds stronger than the word ass. It's a stronger insult. And it doesn't have the same exact meaning, because if somebody's an asshole, you're implying that they're not just annoying or rude, but they're malicious in some way. They're mean and hurtful in some kind of way. Just a mean, hurtful individual. Like an ass is somebody who's just annoying. But an asshole is somebody who's intentionally trying to be mean or rude or disrespectful. They have malicious intent. You see what I'm saying? And don't ask me why, but this word, actually, these words, ass and asshole, are almost always used in reference to a man. The words would still make sense if you use them to describe a woman, like she's an asshole, she's being an ass. But it's simply not a common thing to do in my experience. I don't know why. Like, we have other words to describe women who are being assholes, which we'll cover in a future episode. I don't want to get off track. It's just something I noticed when I was preparing this episode. Like, typically, we call men asses and assholes, and we call women other things in the same situations. So, anyway, let me just summarize the key differences between ass and asshole. When you call a man an ass, you're saying that he's being foolish or annoying or rude, even if not intentionally. He's just being unreasonably difficult. It's not like he's trying to do those things. It's not like he's trying to hurt somebody's feelings. He's just being annoying, just rude and shit. But if you call him an asshole, you're saying that he is intentionally being mean or selfish or rude and disrespectful or unpleasant. He's doing it on purpose. He's being an asshole. So in general, I'd say asshole is more offensive. It's stronger to me. But obviously getting called an ass or an asshole is never positive, just so you have an idea of the two words and how we use them. If you got any questions, shoot me an email, leave a comment on YouTube or whatever, and I'll try to help you out. But let's move on to some other types of ass. Isn't that a funny word, ass? I don't know why it's funny to say. We're talking all about ass in this episode, my friends. So let's talk about some different kinds of ass. The first one, badass. BADASS, badass. And this is a noun. Now, it can be an adjective as well, now that I'm thinking about it. So if something is badass, or if someone is a badass, it just means that that person or that thing is tough or cool and very impressive. So I'll give you some examples and hopefully it'll be more clear. If I say that motorcycle is badass, and that motorcycle is badass, bro, what I'm saying is it looks very tough and cool. Like, the typical or stereotypical motorcycle rider who's got the leather jacket and the acid wash jeans and the boots and the helmet, long hair with the sunglasses, wearing a bunch of rings and necklaces and shit. And he looks like he could kick the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like he would just murder you. He looks badass. He looks tough and dangerous and cool. Like something out of a movie. That's badass, bro. That's tough. It's really cool. It's impressive. Or I could say MMA fighters are badass. MMA fighters are so badass, bro. John Jones, Anderson Silva, Dustin Poirier, who else? Gaethje, Max Holloway, Alex Pereira. These guys are fucking badass, bro. They look cool. They're tough. They're dangerous. They'll kill anybody with their bare fucking hands. They're badass, bro. You know what I mean? Hardcore is another way you can say that. Shit is hardcore. Let me think. Or I could say, going back to the leather jacket. That's common. I could say, man, you look badass in that leather jacket. Or you look like a badass in that leather jacket. Just you look tough. You look cool. You look dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't mess with you. So that's one way. That's a different type of ass. Something's badass. I'm probably being really repetitive, but hopefully this is helping you understand more easily. It's just something that's really tough, really cool. Like dudes who compete in the X Games, doing flips and tricks on BMX bikes or snowboarding, skateboarding, jumping out of planes and shit, shooting automatic rifles, fighting in wars, doing mixed martial arts. What else is tough and cool? I don't fucking know. Construction workers working up like hundreds of meters in the air, building skyscrapers and shit. That's badass, bro. It takes a set of balls. It takes courage to do that shit. It's badass. It's tough. You know what I mean? I really hope that makes sense. I don't know another way to say it without being repetitive. So let's move on to another type of ass, and that's dumbass. Another very common thing to say. Dumbass. Dumbass. Also one word. Dumbass. This is a derogatory term used to describe somebody that we think is stupid. Dumb and stupid are very similar words. And I guess you could say stupid ass as well, now that I think about it. But I think dumbass is a bit more common, it's more standard. So I could just simply say, stop being a dumbass. I mean, stop being dumb, stop being stupid. Whatever you're doing or saying or the way you're thinking, the way you're behaving is dumb. Stop that. Stop being a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass. Or I could even say it sarcastically, like, let's imagine we're cooking, obviously in the kitchen, and I say, hey, actually, no, let me back up. We're cooking in the kitchen and we're making lasagna. Lasagna is typically made in some type of pan, some type of, pan. Put it in the oven, cook it up, take it out the oven, wait for it to cool off, you eat it. So after we've taken it out of the oven, it's cooling off, and I'm about to cut the lasagna into pieces. And I say, hey, can you pass me the pan of lasagna? You grab that lasagna, and as you're trying to pass it to me, you accidentally drop the pan of lasagna on the floor, and it's a glass pan, so it shatters into pieces. All the lasagna's everywhere, all over the floor. It's ruined. We can no longer eat the food. I can sarcastically say, great job, dumbass. great, great job, dumbass. So what I'm saying is, fantastic, you fucking idiot. That was so stupid of you. That was so dumb. And I'm saying it sarcastically because obviously great job is something that you say when somebody does something successfully. Great job, man. Excellent. But I say it sarcastically, like, yeah, great job, dumbass, to express my frustration with what you just did. And this is something very mean to say. Like, you got to be very careful. You won't say that you won't say that playfully to somebody unless you know them very well and they know that you're not trying to hurt their feelings. Like, I would say that to my brother or my best friend. I wouldn't say that to a coworker or a stranger on the street. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that to my dad. I wouldn't say that to like my 6-year-old nephew or something because it's mean. So typically you're only very mean to your friends when they know you don't actually mean it. You know what I mean? Damn, how many times did I just say fucking mean? Anyway, that's dumbass. Another one is smartass, which is, I didn't think about it till now, the opposite. SMARTASS, smartass. Now it's not related to dumbass. It's something different. If somebody is a smartass, they're the type of person that's always giving sarcastic or clever responses in a way that is typically annoying or disrespectful. I'm trying to think of a good example of somebody being a smartass. I should have thought of a good example before I started recording, but just think of a situation where you're asking somebody a very direct and simple question, but they keep giving you indirect or sarcastic answers, trying to be funny, trying to show you that they're clever. You know what I mean? That annoying shit. Say, stop being a smartass and answer the question. Don't be such a smartass. You know? I really hope that makes sense. That type of person who just isn't really taking anything seriously and thinks of themselves as a smart person. And therefore, when other people are asking them questions, they often reply in this ironic, sarcastic, almost condescending way to show you that they're smart and they're clever, they're funny, and you're an idiot. That's a smartass. Always giving these smart remarks. And that maybe it doesn't make sense, giving you smart remarks. Hang on, I should have thought of an actual scenario because I have example sentences. Let me get a scenario for you. Hang on. Give me a scenario in which I would call someone a smart ass. You might call someone a smart ass when they're being sarcastic or overly clever in a way that's annoying or makes them seem like they're trying to show off. Here's a scenario. You're working with a colleague on a project and you ask a simple question like, do you know where the stapler is? Instead of just answering, they smirk and say, well, did you check under your desk? Or maybe in a parallel universe? At that point, you could roll your eyes and say, all right, smartass, just tell me where it is. It's not the best example, but it is an appropriate one. You know, instead of just telling you where the stapler is, this motherfucker is just like, oh, I don't know. Like, for example, you could say, this is a better example. I asked this person, can you tell me where the stapler is? Or no, let me scratch that. Let me give you another example. I can say, can you wash the dishes? Hey, can you wash the dishes? Can you wash the dishes? And this piece of shit says, I don't know. Can I? You see what I'm saying? Because when I say can you, I'm asking if you have the ability to do something, if you are capable of performing a task. Technically, I'm asking that. But in English, when I say can you do this, I'm not always asking if you're capable of doing it. I'm really asking, will you do this for me? Can you wash the dishes? Can you take me to the airport? I'm not saying, are you capable? I'm asking if you will or not. And this piece of shit knows that. But by trying to be clever and sarcastic, they say, I don't know, can I? Am I capable? I don't know. It's like, all right, smartass. You know what I'm saying? That is an example of a smartass. An example or a situation when you would call somebody a smartass. It's like, fuck you, you smartass piece of shit. Stop being a smartass and answer the question. He always has some smartass remark for everything that we say. She's trying to impress everyone with her smartass attitude. Trying to show everybody she's so clever, so intelligent, so superior. You know? That's a smartass. Nobody likes a smartass. Don't be a smartass. All right? Well, let's move on before we fall off the rails here. I'm really hoping these make sense, but you can always ask me questions. All right? Drop a comment, shoot an email. You guys know what to do. So let's move on to another very common way to use the word ass in American English. I don't know if they do this in other countries. I've never heard somebody from another country use ass in this way. So in American English, using the word ass as an intensifier is a way to put emphasis on something or exaggerate something that you're describing. It's a way of conveying that you feel strongly about whatever you're saying. It puts emphasis on a particular noun. And that may not make much sense when I explain it that way. So I'm going to give you examples and I'm sure you will understand. So instead of saying, man, that was a long flight. I flew from Los Angeles to Korea, 13 hours. And then I say, man, that was a long flight. That was a long flight. I would say, damn, that was a long ass flight. That was a long ass flight. So you have the adjective, then the word ass, and then the noun. Long is the adjective, the noun is the flight, and in between those two, I put ass to intensify what I'm saying, to add some emphasis there. That was a long ass flight. I'm just emphasizing how exceptionally long that flight was. Or you ask me about the book I'm reading. Say, hey, how did you like that book? Say, man, that was a dumbass book, bro. Why are you reading that dumbass book? I could just say, why are you reading that dumb book? But when I say that dumbass book, I'm emphasizing that I think it's really dumb. Does that make sense to you? Let me find some other. I got a bunch listed here. Let me pick another good one. Okay. So let's imagine you're going to New York or some place where they have enormous pizzas, gigantic pizzas. And you walk into the restaurant and you see one of these pizzas, say, man, that's a big ass pizza. That's a big ass pizza, bro. Again, I could say that's a big pizza. That's an enormous pizza. That's a gigantic pizza. A colossal, monumental. Those aren't perfect words in this case, but they all have similar meanings, right? Really, really big. Or I could just say that's a big ass pizza. Just means extremely big. So hopefully you're starting to understand it. I'm just emphasizing whatever I'm saying. The word ass doesn't have any literal meaning here. It doesn't really add any meaning other than, or I guess I should say it intensifies the meaning of what I'm saying. That's a fast ass car. That's a dumb ass movie. That was a hard ass test. Those are some expensive ass clothes. I'm not eating that spicy ass food. You see what I'm saying? Just emphasizing whatever it is I'm talking about, emphasizing the adjective in my sentence. And this is a very, very, very casual, informal thing to say. And not all Americans speak like this. It really depends on where you're from, the culture where you grew up, the formality of the setting or the environment. It really depends. Not all Americans talk like this. But where I'm from and people who share my culture, we definitely talk like this. Not all the time, but frequently, you know? But again, it's very informal because you're using a curse word. And there's no need to say it that way. A long ass flight, a dumb ass book, spicy ass food, fast ass car, expensive ass clothes. There's no need to say it that way. There are probably more accurate adjectives that you could use to sound more sophisticated, to really expand the range of your vocabulary. You know what I mean? But typically we go for the easiest, simplest way to say things because it's more convenient. And that's a very common and convenient way to emphasize whatever we're saying. All right, let's move on to a different type of ass, the personal ass, another very common thing in American English. Again, I don't know if they do this in other countries, and I don't know if this is the actual term. It's just what I refer to it as. When I say the personal ass, in this context, what I'm saying is we're not referring to the physical ass, the anatomical ass. We're not talking about your actual butt per se. We're talking about your whole person, your entire physical being. It's a very informal way of speaking. Some people might think it's rude. It can be considered rude, actually, depending on how you say it and when you say it. But let me give you some examples so you can see what I'm talking about. If I say, like, sit down, I say that very sternly, very directly and forcefully. Sit down. You understand, just based on the way I'm saying it, I mean business. I am not joking. But if I say, sit your ass down, when I say sit your ass down, it just sounds much more forceful. And typically I'm angry and I really mean what I'm saying. Sit your ass down. Something that you would say to one of your kids when they won't stop running around and throwing shit and making noise like you're trying to work. You're on a Zoom call or something like that. And they're in the background just making all types of noise. And they won't calm down and just be quiet for an hour. Hey, sit your ass down. And when you say it that way, they know you are not joking around. And when they say sit your ass down, in this case, I guess they do mean your physical butt, your ass. But they're talking about your whole body. It's really what you're saying is sit yourself down. Sit yourself down. You see? Or another example, talking about the kids again. It's a very common when you're growing up to hear one of your parents say, get your ass over here. Let's imagine you are in the grocery store. It's you, your mom and dad, and your 3 siblings. Now, for 2 parents, even if it is both of them, it's hard to manage going through a grocery store, making sure you get all the foods you need, and paying attention to the 4 children walking with you. It's a lot to manage. And as kids, you're curious, you're not paying attention, you walk off into some completely different direction, and you're away from your parents, 20, 30 meters away from your parents. Once your parents notice that you're not standing next to them like they told you to, they say, hey, get your ass over here. And they're mad that you have distanced yourself because it's their job to protect you. Somebody might kidnap you. They might lose you in the store and not be able to find you. They're frustrated that you have strayed away from your parents. And they're saying, get your ass over here. And when they say it that way, you know they're mad. They're frustrated. And really what they're saying is get yourself, bring your body over here. Because I could just say, get over here. Get over here. And it's the same thing. But when I say get your ass over here, it sounds stronger. I'm putting more emphasis on the fact But literally what I'm saying is get yourself over here. So it's a more forceful way of speaking. I really hope that makes sense because it's a very common thing in American English. I could say, let me think, to my little brother who's always smoking weed and playing video games, eating pizza and shit. He's just lazy. He doesn't really want to get up and do anything. Say, man, get your lazy ass off the couch. Go outside. Get your lazy ass off the couch. What I'm saying is get your lazy self off the couch. Because I could just say, get off the couch. Stop being lazy and get off the couch. Or get your lazy ass off the couch, man. Just emphasizing the fact that he's lazy. And I'm telling him to get his lazy self off the couch. Go do something else. It's a more forceful and direct way of speaking, though. Or I might say, man, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up, man. I could just say shut up. Same thing. But when I say shut your ass up, when I say it that way, I'm saying shut yourself up. Quiet yourself. Stop talking. And again, it's not like it has literal meaning in that context. Like shut yourself up. Shut your ass up. It's just a way of speaking more forcefully, more directly, putting emphasis on whatever I'm saying. Or back to the kids, like if you're out in the streets and your parents say, be in this house by the time the street lights come on, 7, 8 o'clock, and you're still in the street at 9:30, your mom might come outside and say, hey, get your ass in this house. Get your ass in this house. Again, get yourself in this house. But when she says it that way, you know she means business. She's not joking. She's frustrated and you might be in trouble. Get your ass in this house. I've said this tons of times. It's a more forceful way of speaking. Tell them to get their asses in the house. Keep your ass in the house. A hurricane is coming, so keep your ass in the house. Means keep yourself, your physical being, in the house. Y'all remember, I don't know if you saw Rush Hour, was it number 1? I can't remember if it was Rush Hour 1 or Rush Hour 2. But Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, they went to go see Ricky Tan. They went to a massage parlor. And in the massage parlor, Ricky Tan was sitting there. He had his laptop computer. He was handling business. And Chris Tucker said, get up. It's time to go. You need to come with us. And Ricky Tan said, no, I'm busy at the moment. I'm not going to do that. So he wasn't taking Chris Tucker seriously. Chris Tucker then grabs the laptop, bam, throws it on the floor. And as he's stomping on the laptop, he said, get your little punk ass up out of that chair right now. Get your little punk ass up out of the chair. What he's saying is get your little self, get your body, get little man, get up, get out of the chair. But he's mad and he's emphasizing what he's saying. Get your punk ass up out of the chair. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I hope that makes sense, y'all. I really do. Because it's going to take some practice for you to learn how to speak that way. It really does take practice. But hopefully when you hear somebody speak that way now, you'll remember this episode. You'll be able to identify it more quickly and say, oh, that's what he's saying. That's what he means when he says it that way. And also another detail is you don't have to be angry all the time. It depends on how it's said. Because generally, if I say it forcefully, you're going to know by the tone of my voice. You're going to know by the look on my face and the context of the situation that I'm angry or I'm frustrated. But if I'm talking to a friend and we're just joking around, then it's a completely different tone, even though it's the exact same sentence. Like my friend is joking about my new haircut, or he's joking about something, my appearance, or something that happened to me. He's making fun of me, humiliating me in a playful way. I'm saying, man, shut your ass up. I'm not angry. I'm just saying, man, shut up. Like we're joking around with each other. And I'm still going to say, shut your ass up. Or I'm talking to my same little brother and I'm saying, hey, man, let's go for a run. Let's go run a few miles. It's like, nah, I want to stay here and play PlayStation or something. Say, man, get your ass up. Let's go. Get your lazy ass up. Let's go for a run. You can play the PlayStation later. Get your lazy ass up, man. Come on. I'm not angry at that point. I'm not necessarily playing because I want him to get up, but you can see based on the tone of my voice, I'm not trying to be forceful or angry or extremely direct. It's still just a figure of speech, just a way of speaking. Man, get your ass up. Shut your ass up, girl. Get your ass over here. Stop playing. It's just a way of speaking, and I'm not always angry when I speak that way. So remember to pay attention to the tone and the way people say things to understand what they really mean. All right, now let's move on to some idiomatic ass, my friends. Some different expressions, some phrases that include the word ass. And I'll be honest, I got a lot here, and I should have said this at the beginning of the episode. Be sure to check the timestamps so that you can go forward or backward much more easily in the episode. Because I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. So yeah, go ahead and use those timestamps to orient yourself within the episode. But let's move on to this idiomatic ass, my friend, some idiomatic expressions. The first one, to whoop or beat or kick someone's ass. To kick someone's ass, to beat someone's ass, to whoop someone's ass. All the same thing. Let me spell those words. K-I-C-K, kick, B-E-A-T, beat, or W-H-O-O-P, whoop. I will whoop your ass. I will beat your ass. I will kick your ass. All the same thing. It just means to beat someone physically. Or in a competition. It doesn't have to be literally. It doesn't have to be literally. It doesn't have to be the literal definition. It could be in a competition, but it means to beat someone. And it doesn't necessarily mean their ass, their physical buttocks, their backside. For example, if I kick your ass, it just means I beat you up. Your face, your chest, your legs. I'm just beating you with my hands and my feet. If I kick your ass, I'm just beating you physically, trying to hurt you. If I whoop your ass, it's the same exact thing, you know? For example, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to beat your ass. Now, I wouldn't say it that robotically. If you don't get out of here, I'm going to beat your ass. But what I'm saying is if you don't get out of here, I am going to beat your ass. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to beat you. You understand? Or you better watch how you talk to him because he might kick your ass. It's very hard to speak slowly and clearly like that because it doesn't sound natural. Better watch how you talk to him or because he might kick your ass. Where I'm from, we don't say your ass, we say yo ass. But it's a more informal way of speaking. You won't talk like that at work, all right? But that is how I talk. I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to beat your ass, I'm going to whoop your ass. To me, it sounds so much more natural. Or if you don't clean up this house, your mom is going to whoop your ass when she gets home. You better clean up this house or your mom's going to whoop your ass. You better clean up this house or your mom is going to whoop your ass. Just depends on where you're from, the way you say it. Like, it just depends. Some people say, she's going to whoop your ass. And some people say, she's going to whoop your ass. Same thing. But that's what it means, to beat someone. Now, in a competition, it's the same sentence, but it just means to win. But to win, how can I say, by a large margin, to win very conclusively. What word would I use there? To beat them very badly. For example, if I beat your ass in a competition and we're playing football, you scored 1 goal, I scored like 8. I beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Or in basketball, you scored 20 points, I scored 150 points. You just got your ass beat. You just got your ass kicked. In basketball, he beats my ass in basketball every time we play. She always kicks my ass in ping pong or fucking volleyball or PlayStation, you know? You really want to get your ass kicked again? All right, every time we play this game, I kick your ass, bro. You sure you want you must enjoy getting your ass beat. You must enjoy this. I'm not talking about physically. I'm saying in this competition, whatever game we're playing, I'm just beating you very badly. All right. The next one on the list is an ass whooping, which is similar because to kick or beat or whoop someone's ass, we're talking about the action being performed. We're talking about doing the thing. But an ass whooping, in this case, is a noun, and it just refers to a severe beating or defeat. Like, that was a serious ass whooping. In this case, it's a noun, and I'm saying that was a serious case of, that was a serious defeat. A very poor defeat, a bad one. You got beat really bad. That was a serious ass kicking, a serious ass whooping. One is a verb, to beat someone's ass or to whoop someone's ass. The noun would be an ass whooping, an ass kicking. I hope that makes sense. Now another way to use that expression, to kick ass, it just means to do exceptionally well. To do something in a very impressive way. Like Spain kicked ass at the Euros last year. They really kicked ass at the Euros. It means that they played really, really, really well and they beat everyone. They kicked ass. Think of another example. Kick ass. We're gonna kick ass in the Super Bowl this year. We're gonna kick ass in this. We're gonna kick ass in that. Just means we're going to perform exceptionally well or impressively. That's what it means to kick ass. What else we got on this list? To haul ass. Another good one that you'll hear from time to time. H-A-U-L, haul, ass. 2 words. To haul ass just means to move very quickly, to run very quickly, to leave somewhere in a hurry, to leave somewhere in a rush. So imagine you are late for school and you typically take the bus to school. Your brother says, look, we got to haul ass or we're going to miss the bus, which means we got to grab everything, grab our bags, books, pencils, everything. Let's go. We got to run. We got to rush out of the house to catch the bus on time so that the bus doesn't leave us and then we won't be able to get to school. We have to haul ass. It means move very quickly in a rush. Let's go. Fucking move your ass. Another thing you'll hear people say, let's go, move your ass. You know what I mean? Somebody says, move your ass. What they're telling you is to hurry up. It's a very impolite way of telling someone to hurry up, all right? It's pretty rude. But if you know the person well, if you're talking to your kids or your girlfriend or your brother or your close friend, let's go, bro. Move your ass, bro. Let's go. Move your ass. It means hurry up. Hurry up. We don't have time for this shit. Move your ass. And then, again, in this case, we're talking about your whole self, your physical being. I'm not saying move your ass like start twerking, start dancing. I'm saying move faster. Let's go. Move your ass, man. So it's similar to haul ass. I can say I hauled ass out of there to catch the flight on time. We were hauling ass, right? Like I'm telling you a story about how I almost missed my flight. So we got through security. I got 2 bags. My girls got 2 bags, and we're hauling ass through the airport trying to catch our flight. What I'm saying is we are running very fast. We're moving as quickly as we possibly can to make sure that we don't. It's been a while since I recorded, bro. I can't fucking talk. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so that we're hauling ass through the airport so that we don't. That's what it was. I was trying to say don't and do not at the same time. And I just said don't. That sounds better, doesn't it? Don't. I don't like pizza with pineapple. Anyway, we're hauling ass through the airport, moving as quickly as we can to make sure we don't miss our flight. That's what it means to haul ass, to rush, to move very quickly. All right, another one that you'll hear from time to time is to bust your ass. B-U-S-T, bust. Hang on a second. All right, my friends, I'm back. That was pest control at the door trying to spray the bug killer and all that shit in this apartment. Because I don't know where y'all are at or what the weather is like. Whenever it's nice and warm, lots of fucking bugs like to come out and creep through the air vents. Then they're all in your goddamn place, crawling on your furniture in your kitchen, where your forks and knives and plates and shit are, man. They're in your bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how many bugs are crawling on you while you sleep at night. Stop and think about that for a second. Anyway, yep, pest control came. They did their thing. And we back on track, my friend. So where was I? To bust your ass. That's where I was. B-U-S-T, bust your ass. This actually has two meanings, and I just realized that as I was recording this. The first one that I have written here is to work extremely hard. To bust one's ass means to work extremely hard. For example, I busted my ass to finish that project on time. I've been busting my ass day and night to keep the bills paid, to put my kids through college, to get my wife a new car, to pay for that family trip. I've been busting my ass for 9 months now to have enough money to pay for all this stuff. What I'm saying is I've been working extremely hard to achieve this goal, busting my ass. So you can bust your ass in the gym. You can bust your ass at work. You can bust your ass on this project. You can bust your ass for anything, really. Anything that you're working extremely hard to accomplish, you are busting your ass to accomplish that thing. Now, in another context, to bust your ass, not everyone says this. It depends on where you're from. But where I'm from, if you bust your ass, it can also mean, I guess, three things. If you bust your ass, it can mean that you fall very, what's the word I would use? You fall very badly. You know, you fall on the ground. I mean, like literally fall. And bam, I bust my ass. It just means that you fell. It's not the most common thing to say, but there are times when I would say that. And I guess the third meaning is similar to beating someone's ass. If somebody says, I'm going to bust your ass, it means they're going to hit you very hard. Man, you better chill out before I bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? That means you're gonna beat them up, depending on the context. And I guess a fourth meaning would be to get busted by the cops, to get caught breaking the law. You know what I mean? The cops busted my ass. The cops are gonna bust your ass. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is like you're smoking weed in the streets in a place where it's illegal, or you're selling drugs, or you're drinking in public, which is illegal in the States, and the cops bust your ass. It just means that they catch you doing something that you shouldn't be doing. That's what it means to get busted by the cops, to get caught breaking the law. So there you go. There's four meanings to confuse you on this lovely afternoon. Anyway, let's move on to another one. To cover your ass. To cover one's ass means to protect yourself from blame or responsibility, to cover your tracks. You know what I mean? It's like protecting yourself in a way so that in the future it doesn't come back to bite you, so that you don't regret something in the future. So let's imagine you're going through some type of dispute or problems at work, and your boss is not following the policies. Your boss is trying to manipulate you. Your boss is trying to make you do things that aren't in your contract. He's threatening to fire you, even though he doesn't have the right to. And he's doing all this via email. And you're telling your friend about this, and your friend says, make sure you save those emails, take screenshots or whatever to cover your ass. And what your friend is saying is, make sure you do this, get the proof, the screenshot, save the emails to protect yourself in the future. In the case, like, just in case in the future, that's a lot of words, just in case something bad happens in the future, you can prove that your boss was being an asshole. Your boss was trying to manipulate you, trying to fire you without any justification. Your boss was breaking the rules. By having proof of that, by saving proof of these conversations that actually took place, you can prove that you're innocent. You have covered your ass. You see what I'm saying? Think about the opposite. Like leaving your ass exposed means you're leaving yourself vulnerable. So you cover your ass to make sure you're protected. I hope that makes sense. It just means protect yourself. It means don't leave yourself vulnerable for future attacks, or so that you won't be blamed for something in the future. You won't have to take responsibility for something in the future. That's what it means. Do I have another example for you? Cover your ass. Mm, no, I don't. Because you know what I did? I wrote one example sentence for each one just because there's so many. And I'm sure this episode's already so goddamn long. But in its essence, that's what it means to cover one's ass. What I recommend you do, especially for this part of the episode, is take these phrases and put them into something like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini and say, give me some example scenarios or sentences in which I would use this expression or this phrase. That's what I recommend you do because we got so many to get through. So I'm going to keep on rolling. The next one, to save someone's ass. To save someone's ass just means to help them avoid a very difficult situation, to help them avoid trouble, to help them avoid difficulties or problems, right? For example, let's imagine I'm about to go on a road trip. I've been planning this road trip for months, been saving money. I took 3 months off of work, right? I took 3 months vacation from my job. So unrealistic, isn't it? Who the fuck has 3 months of vacation? But anyway, just the example. You took 3 months vacation, you've been saving for months, you got all these plans and yada, yada, yada. And 3 days before you're about to take this road trip, with your friends and everything, your car breaks down. The engine stops working, you need a new radiator, carburetor, fuel intake, or fucking pistons, or whatever the fuck. You need something, and you don't know how to fix a car. And you also don't have any money or time to take it to a mechanic. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars. You're going to have to wait 2 weeks or some shit to get it done. But you're leaving in 2 or 3 days. You need your car functional now. So you call your best friend, who just happens to know how to work on cars, and your friend fixes your car in a couple of hours. And you can say, man, you really saved my ass. Everybody on the trip was going to be furious, angry, pissed off if I didn't get my car fixed in time for this trip. You just saved my ass. You're really saving my ass by fixing my car like this. All right, they're helping me avoid a very difficult, uncomfortable situation. That's what it means to save my ass. Or maybe you get arrested for something stupid. Now you're in jail and you need somebody to bail you out, to pay that fee in order for them to release you from jail. We call that bail. So you need them to bail you out of jail. If somebody does that for you, they have just saved your ass. I guess literally in this case too. Anyway, yeah, that's what it means to save someone's ass. Just to, help them avoid a difficult situation. Say, man, you're really saving my ass right here. Or he saved my ass that one time. You know what I mean? He really helped me out. Another common one is pain in the ass. And this is just somebody who's really annoying. And there's many ways to say this. We don't just say pain in the ass, but I think that's the standard. Man, he's a real pain in the ass. Man, she's really being a pain in the ass right now. But you will also hear people say a pain in the dick. Some guys will say that. Let me see, a pain in the ass, a pain in the dick, a pain in, I guess those are the only two. I guess you could use other body parts if you're trying to be funny, you know? But usually, no, a pain in the neck. That's the other one. That one's much more family friendly. You know what I mean? You can say a pain in the neck anytime, anywhere. It's not offensive and people understand. You just mean really annoying. That guy's a pain in the neck. Those kids are a pain in the neck. And that's acceptable. Or a pain in the ass. Or if you're a guy, you might say, man, a real pain in the dick. Which to me is even stronger because you could have just said ass. But you're saying, man, it's a fucking pain in my dick. Which would you rather have? A pain in your ass or a pain in your dick? Come on, man. Pain in the dick is much worse, and you will hear that from time to time. It just means really annoying. This paperwork, such a pain in the ass. Going through customs when you travel to another country, such a pain in the ass, bro. Talking to that, man, she's such a pain in the ass. Why do I have to talk to her? Such a pain in my dick. You understand? Just means really, really annoying. So someone or something is a pain in the ass. All right, moving on. The next one, to kiss someone's ass. This basically what this means is to excessively flatter someone. And most of the time, you're doing it because you want something from them. You want to get on their good side. You want them to do you a favor in the future. You want them to give you special treatment. So often, an employee will kiss their boss's ass because they want their boss to give them the promotion or the special assignment or better treatment or to let them go home early from work or something like that. You're flattering this person. Another thing that you'll hear is sucking up to this person. To suck up to someone is the same thing as to kiss someone's ass. You're excessively flattering them and giving them special treatment and attention because you want them to do you a favor or give you special treatment. You want them to think of you more highly than everyone else. You know? So like I said, he's always kissing the boss's ass. Hey boss, how you doing? Oh, you been working out, man? You're looking pretty shredded. Are those some new shoes? Oh man, you got some real style. I like those glasses. Oh man, you really killed us in the game last week, man. You're the best. Just, kissing his ass. Kissing his ass. Another thing that you'll hear instead of kissing ass is brown nosing. Brown nosing. Like the color brown, BROWN. Brown nosing, and the nose like the body part. So brown nosing, and this will really help you understand what we mean when we say kissing ass. The reason we say brown nose is because if you think about literally kissing someone's ass, you can imagine your nose going between their ass cheeks and touching the person's anus, which is the hole through which shit exits the body. I apologize for being so graphic, but this is what it means. So if you imagine somebody actually down there kissing somebody's ass, because their nose is in between the two ass cheeks, touching the anus, their nose turns brown because of the shit. Like you understand what I'm saying? So that's why we say brown nose. If you're brown nosing, you're kissing somebody's ass. And the noun of these two verbs, you can call someone a kiss ass. Stop being a kiss ass, bro. He's such a kiss ass, which means he's always kissing somebody's ass. He's always sucking up to somebody. Or he's a brown noser. He's always brown nosing. Such a fucking man. Stop being a brown noser. Do such a fucking brown noser. Always kissing somebody's ass. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. If you got any questions, as always, let your boy know. So let's move on to the next one. To blow smoke up someone's ass. Isn't that a strange thing to say? To blow smoke up someone's ass. I have no idea where that comes from or why we say it that way, but it also means to flatter someone, but in this case, it's in a very insincere way. When you're kissing someone's ass, when you're brown nosing, it doesn't mean that you're being insincere. You're just doing it excessively. But when you're blowing smoke up someone's ass, you're trying to flatter them about something that is clearly not true. You know what I mean? You're trying to make them believe something that's not true. Like you're obviously lying, you know what I mean? Or exaggerating in a way that's not even intelligent. So somebody who's excessively overweight, you're saying, damn, you're looking really skinny. You're looking really thin. God damn, you look good in that dress. Man, you look good in that suit. When they're clearly overweight. You're just blowing smoke up their ass. Or like maybe your girlfriend wants to be a singer, but she has a horrible voice. And she's asking you to sit there and listen to her sing. And you're like, oh, baby, you sound so good, man. I thought you were Mariah Carey. I thought you were fucking Whitney Houston in this bitch. God damn, is this Sade? Patti LaBelle? Aretha Franklin in this bitch? Damn, baby, you gonna be a star. You gonna be a star. You are blowing smoke up your girlfriend's ass. You know good and goddamn well her voice sounds like trash. But you want her to feel good about herself. You want to inflate her ego. You don't want to hurt her feelings. So you start blowing smoke up her ass, telling her how amazing she sounds when it's clearly not true. That's what it means to blow smoke up someone's ass. Say, stop blowing smoke up my ass, man. Just tell me the truth, you know? Anyway, that's what it means. I don't know. Again, I don't know why we say that, but that's what it means. All right, the next one. To be on someone's ass. If you are on someone's ass, it means that you are excessively pressuring that person or even nagging that person, overly critical, overbearing in some kind of way. For example, your manager is always on your ass about these deadlines, always giving you a bunch of assignments and then constantly pressuring you, constantly sending you messages and calling you and asking for an update. I need it now. When it's going to be done? You know, you got a deadline. It's got to be due tomorrow. Just bah, 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 bah. He's on your ass, excessively pressuring you. Or, let me think. Your parents, maybe your mom is always on your ass about your studies. You just want to play basketball and hang out with your friends, but your mom is always on your ass and you need to study. You need to get your homework done. You need to go to after school study programs and do your math and do your science and blah, blah, blah. Just won't leave you alone. Always telling you how you need to be studying more. She's on your ass. You see what I'm saying? And we're typically on someone's ass about something. So you can say she's on my ass, just period, and it makes sense. Or she's on my ass about something in particular. She's on my ass about my studies. He's on my ass about my weight or about this or about that. You know? So if you want to mention what they're on your ass, how can I say that? If you want to mention this particular thing that they're pressuring you about, then you would say on my ass about this thing. Pressuring me or nagging me about this particular thing. All right. Another one is to be up someone's ass. We're getting more and more graphic here. To be up someone's ass is a very vulgar way of saying to be very intrusive or annoying. Let me think of a good example. To be up someone's ass. I don't know, man. Somebody who's just asking you about your sex life and your dating life and stuff that's going on at home and your family. This person's up your ass about some very personal, private stuff. Because, I mean, think about it, man. If somebody inserts themselves, because it's going to get graphic, but just bear with me. If somebody inserts themselves into your ass, that is a very intimate position to be in. All right? You're not just going to let anybody put themselves in that position. So if they're in that position, it means that you trust them enough. You have that kind of relationship where they can do that kind of thing. Not everybody can do that. So if somebody with whom you don't have that level of trust and intimacy is trying to put themselves in that position, trying to get in your ass, you're going to be like, hold up, bro. Back the fuck up, all right? You know what I'm saying? Figuratively, you guys get what I'm trying to say. If somebody's up your ass, it means that they are trying to intrude or be very invasive. Figuratively, trying to get all this private information and get all in your business. They're all up your ass. You know what I'm saying? Why are you always up my ass about everything? Always asking these invasive questions. Always asking for this private stuff about my life. You know what I'm saying? He's always up my ass about everything. You won't hear that one every day, but that is what it means and how we use it. All right. Next on the list, to plant your ass. This one's quite simple. It just means to firmly put yourself in a particular place or position, often on the couch or in a chair, obviously, because you're sitting down. So you can think of a plant, you put it in the ground and it stays in that position, it stays in that place. If you plant your ass on the couch, it means you firmly place yourself on the couch and you don't move, like a plant. Plant your ass in that chair, plant your ass on the couch and stay there all day. Not the most common thing to say. You definitely won't hear it every day, but that's another way to use the word ass. Now, the opposite, I guess, theoretically, the opposite is to get off your ass. But this really just means to stop being lazy, to stop being inactive, and to get up and do something. I could say that to somebody who's laying down. They don't have to be in a seated position. It just means get up and go do something. Get off your ass and help me clean the house. Get off your ass and go play football. Get off your ass and go do something. What I'm saying is stop being lazy and go do something. All right, next one. To drag your ass. To drag your ass, D-R-A-G. To drag your ass just means to move very slowly. To move reluctantly. Like you don't really want to, but you have to. You know what I mean? Let me try to think of a good example. Maybe you have to get up very early to go to school and you don't want to, obviously. So you're just moving like really slow and sluggishly. Imagine like a really heavy bag full of rocks and it's extremely heavy. You're not going to carry it over your shoulder. You're going to drag it along the ground. You're not going to pick it up. You're just going to let it drag behind you. You're pulling it, but it's on the ground. That's what it means to drag something. To carry something means to lift it off the ground and take it with you wherever you're going. To drag it means you're pulling it, but it's still making contact with the ground. You're not lifting it. So when we say drag your ass, you can think of something like that. You're slowly moving in this reluctant fashion. You don't really want to. It's just like, it's like a burden. You're pulling this burden behind you, but the burden in this case is your physical self. You can think about it that way. So when you're dragging your ass early in the morning, just like, oh, I gotta brush my teeth and wash my face and eat breakfast and get dressed. And you're doing everything extremely slowly. And your dad says, stop dragging your ass. Get dressed so we can leave. Stop dragging your ass. It means put some pep into your step. Let's energize this fucking thing. Move more quickly so we can get out of here. Stop dragging your ass. Another thing you'll hear is dragging your feet. Same concept. Drag your feet, drag your ass. It means to do something very slowly and reluctantly. All right, another one. To get your ass in gear. To get your ass in gear, it just means to, if you tell somebody to get your ass in gear, you're telling them to hurry up and be more productive. Stop being so lazy. Stop moving in this lethargic manner. You know what I mean? Another, like this similar example, let's say we have to get up early and go to the airport. And for whatever reason, you didn't pack the night before. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you're packing, you're trying to get everything ready, get showered, get dressed, brush your teeth, wash your face and all that shit. And I walk into the room and I'm like, bro, you're not ready yet? We got to leave in 30 minutes. Get your ass in gear. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass in gear, man. Let's go. We're late. What I'm telling you is to hurry up. Just another way of saying hurry up. You're in first gear. I need you in sixth gear. And when I say gears, you can think about an actual transmission, motorcycle or manual transmission car. You go gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And the higher the gear, typically the faster you're going to be able to go. So when I say get in gear, I'm saying go from a 1 to a 6. You're in neutral right now, not even moving. I need you to pick a fucking gear, get into gear, and move. That's the way you can think about it. Get your ass in gear, all right? We are late. I need you to move. All right. Next on the list is to put your ass on the line. What this means is to take a risk or to expose yourself to danger. Let me think of a good example. To put your ass on the line. I'm gonna have to go to ChatGPT on this one because I have an example sentence, right? I put my ass on the line to help you out. But let me think of a good scenario that we would actually say, in which I would say, I put my ass on the line. You would say, I put my ass on the line when you've taken a big risk or put yourself in a vulnerable position, especially to help someone or to achieve something. Here's a scenario. At work, a close colleague was on the verge of getting fired for underperforming. In other words, you're at work and a close colleague was close to getting fired because they weren't performing at a high enough level. But you believe in their potential. So you go to your boss and you vouch for them. Now, to vouch for somebody basically means to to say something positive in order to confirm the validity or quality or efficacy or integrity of this person or this thing. So you're going to your boss and trying to convince them to give your colleague another chance. He's a hard worker. I know he's what he's capable of. He's always helping me out. You're saying all these positive things to confirm that they're actually someone worth taking seriously. They're somebody worth employing in this case. You should not fire them. So later, you tell your colleague, I put my ass on the line for you. I put my ass on the line to save your job. So you better step it up. You better prove me right. You better start doing your job. Because if you don't, then the boss is going to look at me and now he's not going to trust me or take me seriously because I vouched for you. I put my ass on the line for you. You were fucking up. You weren't doing your job correctly. I go to the boss and say, no, he's really good, blah, blah, blah. Trust me. Give him another chance. Now I'm putting my reputation on the line for you. So if you don't improve the quality of your work and your productivity, now I'm going to look bad because I just convinced the boss not to fire you. So if you keep doing shitty work, the boss is also going to want to fire me. That's me putting my ass on the line for you. Does that make sense? I hope so, because we're going to move on. So the next one on the list is to have your head up your ass. To have your head up your ass. What this means is to be very ignorant, to be clueless, to have no idea what's going on. If somebody's walking around with their head up their ass, they are clueless. They have no idea what's going on around them or in their life, in the world. You know what I mean? They're very ignorant people. Trying to think. Like the type of person who is very entitled and thinks that the world is supposed to adapt to them. The type of person that thinks they deserve everything in exchange for nothing. You know what I mean? That person is walking around with their head up their ass. Imagine that. Imagine somebody what position they would be in walking around with their head literally stuck up their ass in their rectum. They're clueless. They have no idea what's going on around them. And it's a very negative thing to say, obviously. It's like telling somebody they're clueless, they're ignorant, they're dumb, they're delusional. You've got your head up your ass. That's what it means. You got your head up your ass if you think this is going to work. It means you are totally clueless if you think this is going to work. You know? Or she expects a man to pay for everything, make $300,000 a year, to fight for her, to give her the easiest, cushiest, luxurious life in exchange for nothing. She won't even cook the man dinner. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even want to have his children. She don't want to clean the house. She don't want to work. She doesn't want to get her own job so she can pay for her own shit. She doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to be treated like a princess in exchange for nothing. She has her head up her ass. All right. Move your ass. We already talked about that. Another one is to show your ass. Another very common one. To show your ass just means to behave in a way that's very embarrassing, very foolish, very inappropriate. You're embarrassing yourself in public. That's basically what it means. So, if I say he's always showing his ass in public, what I'm saying is he often goes into a public place and just starts doing something embarrassing. Like imagine this guy goes out with his girlfriend and they're eating dinner in this public place. It's a restaurant. And for whatever reason, he just starts yelling and cursing and making a scene, drawing attention to himself, embarrassing the woman that he's with, embarrassing himself, and everybody's looking at these two like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? He's showing his ass. Because think about it, like if you're in public and you pull down your pants and you show everyone your actual ass, your butt, that's a humiliating thing to do. It's embarrassing. Now think about that figuratively. You're not showing your actual, your physical ass. You're just doing something equivalent to that. Arguing with your girl in public, causing a scene, or maybe your kids. Like you take your kids to the park and you expect them to be well behaved children. But when you get to the park, they ask for some ice cream or something like that, and you say, no, you can't have any ice cream because you haven't had lunch yet. And the kids start screaming and crying and kicking all over the place and running around, bothering other people, having a little temper tantrum. Your kids are showing their ass in public. And when you get home, you might beat their ass for what they did, you know? Did you guys get your ass beat when you were kids? I know every culture is different. Every generation is different too. Like my grandparents, I'm sure when they were adults and my parents were children, they would definitely beat their children's ass with whatever object was close enough to beat them with. My generation, I think some of our parents would beat us and others wouldn't. I think my parents' generation was the first to actually stop and think, should we be hitting our kids? Is that actually effective? No, maybe we should start talking to our children. And then my generation, for sure, a lot of them have kids and they're like, no, that's harmful to the child. We need to have conversations. We need to have a dialogue. We need to speak to them in a gentle manner. We don't want them to have psychological issues when they become adults, right? A lot of people choose to parent their children in that way. I think it depends on your generation, definitely your culture, because there's plenty of people these days that will still beat the shit out of their kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's say what you want, but it's effective. It's a. Let's get back on track here. Let's be serious. Real News Radio. Be serious. To show someone's ass, that's what it means. To behave in a very embarrassing or foolish or inappropriate way out in public. You're embarrassing yourself or other people around you. Next on the list is half-assed. HALF hyphen ASSED. Half-assed. And what this means is, or let me say it this way, to do something half-assed or in a half-assed manner means to do it with very little effort or very little care. You're only giving 50? Jesus, you're only giving 50% of your effort or attention to this thing. Now that I think about it, it's a verb because you can half-ass an activity or you can do something in a half-assed manner, right? So I can half-ass this exam. Stop half-assing this thing. What I'm saying is stop giving just 50%. Stop doing this in such a careless way. Stop half-assing it. Or I can say that was a half-assed attempt. And what I'm saying is that was a very weak, careless attempt at whatever you were trying to do. You know? Trying to think of some other natural examples. Give me a second. Some natural sentences. Give me some natural ways to use half-assed and half-assed. Here we go. Using half-assed, describing sloppy work, exactly. That was a half-assed presentation. You didn't even rehearse, did you? So when I say that was a half-assed presentation, what I'm saying is very sloppy. You were clearly careless. You didn't really prepare yourself. You didn't put in much effort. You just acted like you didn't really care. It just seemed improvised and ill-prepared. That was a half-assed presentation. It sucked. I know you could have done better. If you actually tried, it would have been much better. Or just commenting on someone's effort in general. Like, don't do a half-assed job cleaning the kitchen. Either clean it properly or don't clean it at all. Don't do it half-assed. Don't do it carelessly. Don't do it as if you don't care about what you're doing. Don't give 20%, 50%. Give 100% or just don't do it. But either do it or don't do it. But don't do it half-assed. Something in the middle, you know what I mean? Or the project failed because we had a half-assed plan from the start. Which means from the very beginning, we didn't put much effort into creating a plan, so it's no wonder that the project failed. It was a half-assed plan from the beginning. Now, as a verb, I could say, what does it say here? Talking about someone's poor effort. You can't just half-ass your way through the training and expect good results. That's a perfect example. I could say, you can't just half-ass your way through your English studies and expect to become proficient in this language. A lot of people want to be proficient, they want to be fluent, but they're half-assing their way through the process. They're only giving 50%, 30%, 10% of their actual effort. They're not taking it seriously. They're not studying every day. They're not talking to people. They're not practicing. They're just half-assing it. It's like, it's whatever. I'll do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes tomorrow, 10 minutes next week, and just complain the whole time that I'm not improving. It's because you're half-assing this thing. That's a perfect example. Or if I say, if you half-ass this assignment, you're going to get a very low score. You need to take it seriously. You need to study and practice. Don't half-ass this thing, which means don't do it carelessly or with very little effort. I hope that makes sense. All right, moving on. Ass backwards. If something is ass backwards, it means that it is very confusing, or even more specifically, very inefficient. It makes no sense. It seems like they're doing it backwards in this illogical manner, which is why it's confusing and inefficient. You know what I'm saying? This language is ass backwards, right? Whoever developed this language did it in a completely confusing, inefficient, incoherent manner. It makes no sense to do it this way. There are clearly more efficient and logical ways to do this, but they chose to do it in a way that is very ass backwards. You know? I'm trying to think of another good example. Let's go to ChatGPT. Forgive me for this half-assed episode, because I could have put more time into example scenarios and not just example sentences, because you need context to really understand what I'm saying. Ass backwards. Describing a process done incorrectly. You're installing the door ass backwards. Which means you're doing it incorrectly. You're doing it backwards, or in this reversed, confusing, illogical way. Pointing out a flawed approach. They're running this company ass backwards, focusing on minor details instead of fixing the big problem. That's a very good example. They're running this company ass backwards. Very inefficiently, illogically, like it doesn't make any sense why they're doing it this way. It's ass backwards. Great example. This whole system is ass backwards. We should have automated this process years ago instead of doing it manually. This whole system is ass backwards. A very similar and equally appropriate example. The whole system is inefficient. It makes no sense. It's confusing. The whole thing is ass backwards. Very common thing to say in American English. Again, you got to be careful. You won't go to work and tell your boss that he's doing things ass backwards, all right? That's probably going to be offensive to most people. It's a rude thing to say because you are still using the word ass. Even just to say you're doing all this backwards, you could say that. If you tell someone they're doing everything backwards, this backwards company, this backwards way of doing things, it's not the most common, but you can say it and it does make sense. Even that might be offensive to some people because you're saying they're doing it in a way that doesn't make any sense. You know, some people are more sensitive than others. So you just got to learn how to choose your words, man. That's what this is all about. Trying to give you a bunch of different ways to say the same thing, expand your vocabulary so you know what sounds harsh and aggressive or forceful or vulgar. And then you can learn some more, some lighter ways of expressing the same ideas. Because you could say, all of this is very inefficient. And some people might not like that, but it's not offensive. It's not rude or vulgar. It's just specific. It's a specific word that describes something that makes no sense, something that's not very productive. Like, isn't this kind of inefficient? I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do this. Or, man, this shit is ass backwards, bro. What the hell are we doing? The same thing is being expressed, but, one's much less abrasive. You know what I mean? All right. Let's move on to another one, very common. When it's an expression, and we say, you bet your ass. You bet your ass. When somebody says that, what they mean is you can be very sure. You bet your ass. Now, there's two ways that we can use this. You can say it as a response. You can say, you bet your ass. which means yes, you can be very sure I'm confirming whatever it is you just said. Or you bet your ass, blah, 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 blah. And then you tell them what they can be sure about. So let me give you the two examples. And I'll start with the second so it's more clear. I say, you bet your ass we're going to be there. Well, but you may not think so, but you can bet your ass that we'll be at the ceremony. Not the best example, not the best scenario, but what I'm saying is you can be absolutely sure that we will be at the ceremony. You can bet your ass he's going to give 100%. You can bet your ass that he's not going to tolerate disrespect. You can bet your ass they're going to win. You can bet your ass he's going to blah, blah, blah. It means you can be absolutely certain this is going to happen. Now, the second way, somebody asks you a question and they say, are you going to your brother's wedding? You bet your ass I am. You bet your ass I am. And I respond with I am because they asked, are you? Are you going? You bet your ass I am. You can be sure that it means yes, I am. It's the same thing, but you can be sure. No doubts. You bet your ass I am, you know? Are you willing to, this is a funny, I don't know why this makes me laugh. This is off the top of the head, and you would never say this, but it would be hilarious if you did say it. I don't know if you've ever flown on an airplane, but for those of you that have, you understand that there's what we call the exit row or the emergency row. So on an airplane, you have all the regular seats, but there's one particular row of seats that has more space in between the seat and whatever's in front of it. There's more leg room, as we say. And to your left or to your right, there's a door. And in the case of an emergency, you can open that door and everybody can exit the plane through that door. So if you're sitting in that row before the flight attendant will come and say, you understand you're sitting in the emergency row or the exit row. Are you willing to assist the other passengers in case of an emergency? Meaning, if the plane starts falling from the fucking sky or we land on the ocean or something like that, you're sitting in this seat, which means you're responsible for opening the door and helping everyone else exit the plane. Are you willing to do that? In that case, you could say, you bet your ass I am. And again, you would never say that because it's like, why are you being that aggressive, dog? Like you could just say yes, you know what I mean? But you could say it and it makes perfect sense. If I say, you bet your ass I am, what I'm saying is absolutely I'm willing to assist everyone else. In this case, it's funny to me because it would be ridiculous to say that. I'm just trying to give you other examples of when you could say that or what it means when you say that. So are you willing to assist the other people? You bet your ass I am, you know? Think of another one. You bet your ass I will. Or maybe you have a friend who has a drinking problem. He's going out every single night, even on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. It doesn't matter. He's going out every night and getting drunk. I mean, drunk. 10 shots of vodka, 7 shots of tequila, 20 beers. I mean, he's getting fucked up. He has a problem. And then he calls you on whatever day, I don't know, a Thursday night and says, hey, man, we're going to the bar. You want to come? And you, concerned about your friend, you say, bro, you're going out drinking again? Again? You say, you bet your ass I am. You bet your ass I am. It's like, absolutely. You better believe it. 100%. Yes, I am. I'm going out and drinking again. I hope that makes sense. But there you have it, my friends. How are we doing on time? Jesus Christ. Another hour and 38 minutes in the books. This is, this has been a rough guide on the meaning and uses of the word ass. There are many ways we use this word. But just remember, as I said probably in the last episode, even though some Americans use this word very casually, it's not necessarily an indication that you should do the same. What I recommend is practicing a lot with some close friends or maybe a teacher until you really get a sense of what the word means and, more importantly, how it's used and when it's used. Just to be safe, because a lot of times you'll hear these words and it sounds cool. We love learning about curse words and using them as quickly as possible, but we don't really feel the emotional weight of the words like a native does. So we might end up using them in a situation where it's really not appropriate to use them, and we leave a bad impression on whoever we're talking to. So that's why I recommend just practice a little bit with some people that you know very well so you really get a sense of what you're saying. Because you got to be careful with words that are considered bad, because you don't want to leave bad impressions unnecessarily. You get what I'm saying, man. You're an adult. You can decide for yourself how you're going to communicate. It's just something to remember. All right. But if you got any questions about anything that was said in this episode, feel free to leave them in the comments on YouTube, Spotify, shoot me a DM on Instagram, shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you whenever possible, my friend. But this has been another mega episode of Real English Radio. I'm your host, Tony Kaizen, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.